Hi friends, welcome to this week's episode of Lose, Live, Learn. You're watching episode number 15. I am Melanie, your host from melanienights.com, and today I'm bringing you a great interview with a friend of mine. I have known Julie on social media for a number of years, and it makes me laugh because unlike every other guest I've had on this show, she's actually from the UK. She's not thousands of miles away, and yet we still haven't really connected the way we could. Now, today's interview, she's sharing with you how it is that she's built a successful in-person and online business. She's doing both, ladies. She has built an incredible brand and she's doing it all with complete ease. It's not feeling incredibly difficult. She's not feeling like she's pushing anything. It feels effortless and she's in love with her business. So today she's going to be sharing with you exactly how she has managed to do that. This isn't her first time on the entrepreneurial journey, and she's going to be sharing with you details about the difference between the first time and this time. And if you are not looking to build a business, please stick around because she's also sharing with you 3 ways in which you can make sure you are dialing in on your goals, the mindset that really gets you to wherever you want to be, no matter what your goal in life is. Welcome to Lose, Live, Learn, the weekly show for busy and ambitious women who understand the importance of their health and strive to create harmony within their body, business, and beyond. Learn how to navigate those transitional moments from marriage, motherhood, to building a profitable business, climbing the corporate ladder, and watching your kids grow. I'm here for you every step of the way. Let's get started. So before we get started on today's interview, I want to just remind you that Wonder Woman Academy is still open for enrollment. We get started on Monday, November the 13th. And this is a 5-day online experience for ambitious, passionate, go-getter women who are looking for more time in their life so they can finally make their big dreams and goals a reality. So if this sounds like you, I urge you to click the link in the description box. Sign up today. It's completely free 99, as apparently all the kids are saying nowadays. And you will get access to me as your coach for 5 days in a private and exclusive Facebook group. We're going to be dialing in on your time, making sure your priorities are in place. I'm going to be helping you master the way you think about your goals so that you can actually make sure you're working towards them rather than being dragged away from them. And I'm going to be giving you some of my life hacks on how you can simplify and shorten your workouts but still get great results, because Wonder Woman does not have time to be wasting in the gym. So if this sounds like the perfect fit, I want you to go click that description now before you watch the interview. Come back, watch the interview. Let's get started. So welcome to episode 15 of Lose, Live, Learn. As you can see, I have a really exciting interview with you today. I'm going to be introducing you to Julie because we have been connected through social media for around about 5 years. When back in 2012, I had my very poorly edited weight loss transformation video and somebody shared it, and that is it. The rest is history. And when I set out to create Lose, Live, Learn, the video show, I wrote down a list of women I wanted to introduce to you, women who are doing amazing things, and Julie was on this list. So without further ado, please introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Okay. Julie. I live and work in Scotland, so I stay in a town called Greenock, which is just outside Glasgow, so we're on the west coast of Scotland. Work with online clients, one-to-one personal training clients, I've got class clients, so lots of different people from all age groups, but all females that I work with at the moment.
Wonderful. And you own your own business, so you own
Yes.
The Badass Rules and the Badass Studio is kind of how it comes up on social media. And yes. I love this because obviously we've been connected for quite a while, and it's really interesting to see how things have grown for you. But what I would love to know and for you to share is like, what the badass woman, like who is she, what does she do, what's her essence?
So there's within the team, so we've got Team Badass, so everyone that trains together, because a lot of people go to classes together, they know each other from training, they know each other from the online group, so and they're all very supportive of each other, but they're all completely different backgrounds. Some are stay-at-home mums, some work full-time, some have got quite high-powered jobs, some of them are 23 years old, some of them are 60 years old, so there's a really broad spectrum of women, but the thing they have in common is their mindset. So the whole point of Team Badass is to give you that badass mindset, to make you strong, confident, happy, healthy, And whatever your goals are, they could be completely different to someone else's goals, but they're your goals, and that's the entire point of it. Is you achieve the things that you want to achieve, and you don't compare them with anyone else. You literally just compare them with yourself. And as long as you're happy in where you're going, you're winning.
Awesome. And I think this is so powerful because there isn't enough of this online, especially within the fitness community. I think there is still so much of competing with other people. There is still this competition to look a certain way. And I don't think we're ever going to escape that because it still sells. But I love to hear that everyone's coming from a different walk. Everybody is coming from a different walk of life. They've got different goals, that it's not just about weight loss, because that's one of the biases that I often see in training, and I really dislike it, is that somebody's coming to you and the assumption is it's for weight loss. And you know what? A lot of the time it is, but a lot of the time it isn't as well. There are people who just want to work out. There are people that just want to feel good in their bodies, build strength, confidence, as you said. And that's so amazing because you've got such a big community. And the fact that it's called, like, I love the team part, because it's like, it really brings, like, we are a team. Like, we work together. That's what we're doing.
That's it.
We're here to support each other. That's just so good, because there's nothing like a woman who has a tribe of people behind her to support her. And that's so powerful.
That's exactly
so I love that. Love it. So as you said, you've got your own studio. So you've got an actual in-person studio. You do stuff online as well through a Facebook group. Is that right?
Yep.
And so going from corporate to self-employed or entrepreneur wasn't new to you. So you had done this before. We actually had a conversation a few years ago when I was kind of starting out, and I was like, why did you go back? I wanted to hear. And you were like, oh, well, it was a bit lonely and stuff like that. And I went back because of people. And so what do you believe is the difference between the first time and the second time? Because as an entrepreneur, often our biggest fear is having to go back to a 9 to 5, going back to a job, because once you've got a taste for this, you don't want to go back. So what was the difference between this first time and then now?
I think the first time I'm more focused on what I should be doing and what services you should offer and how you should position yourself. And I think social media's got a lot to do with that. That gives you an ideal of how you should present yourself. And I just knew at the time it wasn't right. I couldn't put my finger on why it wasn't right, but I just knew it wasn't right. I went back to corporate maybe 12 weeks after I left. But this time it's happened much more organically. So this time, now when it comes to social media, I post what I like. And if I like it, I think a lot of the team will like it. Or if I see something that I think this would be a benefit to the team, I post that. Whether it's the right or the wrong thing to do, I don't worry about that so much now. And because of that, I think that's how the business has grown. Because I really started it off just doing one class a week on a Saturday morning. And then people were like, okay, do a second class. Can you do some personal training? And my intention was never to go back to being self-employed. My intention was to stay working 9 to 5 in the insurance company that I worked for. But it grew organically. And I think because I wasn't trying to structure it so much, and I wasn't worrying about the right and the wrong and the should and the shouldn't, it just all worked so much better, and it's become its own thing.
That's amazing, because there are certainly things I wish I had known before I left my 9 to 5, and they're things that you learn along the way. But I think we often allow perfection to be the enemy of good, especially when it is online, because there is an element of creativity. When it's not just easy throwing up a little square onto Instagram and writing a caption that goes with it. When you're trying to make impact, and that definitely requires some thought. But I definitely agree that when you're trying to control every factor, it's difficult. I didn't realize it was 12 weeks. That's not very long. So we haven't prepped for this question at all, but I'm going to just ask you, what did it look like in those 12 weeks back then comparatively to now? What were you trying to control? Like, what was it that you were so structured on?
I think it was more, then I was the stereotypical personal trainer. I worked in a gym. You did what other personal trainers did, what you thought a personal trainer should be. And I've recently changed my job title. So my job title doesn't say personal trainer anymore, because I thought that's not what I am. So my business card says fitness and life coach, because a lot of what I do isn't just about training and meal plans. That is a part of it, but it's not all of it. A lot of it's the mindset coaching and how you set up your day-to-day life, the goals you set for yourself. So I thought previously I was a personal trainer, as in you do 12 reps, now we're going to run intervals. Whereas now that probably is only maybe 40% of what I do. So yeah, I think before I was just trying to go down too much of a route that you think you should be going down.
Yeah.
Whereas now I just go with the flow, which makes life so much easier.
And don't you find when you are being really, and I hate using this word because it gets used so much, when you're being very authentic and true to yourself, one, it's easier, as you say, to show up online and be yourself because you're being yourself. But also when you do pivot, when you go away from, when you move away from personal trainer, even though it's like you move away from personal trainer to something that feels more you, your audience, the people that follow you, go with you and do not care, because it's like, well, it doesn't make it, the content is still the same. What you're posting is still the same. It's the job title. And I was recording a video earlier and I actually said, like, personal trainer is not my job description. It is a qualification I have. It is so much more.
Exactly.
And you're right. Like I've been having this conversation with so many other coaches recently who have gone like, I'm a fat loss coach. And then it's like, but that's not what I do. And it's trying to find that place that feels really comfortable, because when you are aligned with your message, it's so much easier to go with the flow. It's like, like it's not like you're trying to sell, and it's not like you're trying to be something you're not, and you're not. I think it's I don't know how you feel about this, but for me, I work in a gym as well, and the experience I see is that most people are still trying to follow that route of what a personal trainer should look like.
Yeah.
And there's not that alignment of why am I doing this? Like, why am I waking up in the morning? Why do I want to do it? There's still that Monday morning feeling. And that was huge when you can, and that just, I love that. I love that you can see the big difference, because without that knowledge, it could be exactly the same as it was before. And so it's great. And because it happened organically, as you said, like 1 class, 2 classes, they wanted more of you because you weren't trying to do it. Like it was started off as like, this is not something I'm doing. Yeah. So good. Love it. So love it. So when you look back at corporate versus like entrepreneur, owning your own business, do you think that there is something in particular that stands out to you? Because running your own business is not for everybody. Like it's not for everyone. Climbing the corporate ladder isn't for everybody. And I think I know the answer to this, but I would love to get your take on it. What do you believe the mindset or the attitude is that helped you achieve what you wanted in your life, professionally in corporate world, but professionally now as well? Because the thing about owning your own business is kind of personal and professional. It's all one thing. It's like your baby, it's your entire life. So what do you see as a mindset and attitude that you've taken, that you've applied to both corporate and self-employed?
I think it would be the same with anything. So if you are going to buy a new house and revamp the new house, I think if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it 100%. So when I worked in a corporate environment, I thought, what job can I move to next? How do I get there? What training do I need? Who do I need to speak to? What do I need to learn? And I actually approached this the same way. But then if I was to buy a house, I think I want to redecorate the house. I need to make a plan because I'm quite organised. So I think it's your own mindset that's your own work ethic. So whether I'm going to work for someone, I'm going to work for myself, I'm going to complete a side project for leisure, whatever it is I'm going to do, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%, I'm going to do it the best that I can, and no. So I don't think I put any more into my business than I put into when I worked for the insurance company, because that was what I did then. And if I was going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%. It's a bit like training. When I decide after I recently had a knee operation, so I need to get back to fitness, I thought, right, sit back, where am I now? Where do I want to get to? How do I get there? make a plan for that. So I approach everything probably in the same way of like plans, schedules, being organised. That's probably the same way I've approached my business as I approached my job when I was 9 to 5.
Yeah, I love that, and I agree, because I like the fact that you just said, I didn't put any more effort into corporate or into my job than I do into my own business. And I think that's critical, because I think people make the assumption that if you want to be a business owner, that means you don't put any work in. But there are some people, I mean, I was the same. Even though I was employed, I still did my work. I still showed up. I wasn't like late and not doing things and not being a team player. I still did all that stuff because it was part of who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's not, you know, being a business owner is not for everyone, because you do have to have a certain work ethic. And you know, I often say that if you have a plan B or like this backup plan that you're more focused on than what you want to do, you're not going to do what you want to do, because you have to do it, as you said, with 100%. It has to be like, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm doing. I like the whole, like, I sit down, I look at it, I'm like, I feel like my spirit animal. I'm going to plan exactly how I'm going to do it and do this. And, you know, it's not always like clear, and it could be very messy at times, and you go, crap, why don't I do that? But it's the same with anything. And I think that's so important for people to understand, like from goals, from fat loss to climbing the corporate ladder, to building your own business, to creating a lifestyle of like that allows you to travel or whatever it might be. It requires the same mindset. It's not actually about whether you can do it or not. It's about getting your mind right and saying, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to plan how to do it. Because most of us go, I want to lose weight, or, you know, I want to do this X, Y, or Z. And it's like, and like, but that's not that's the what. That's what you want to do. You have to know why, and then how, and then what it is. Yeah.
That's, there was a saying that years ago I'd heard, and it was in relation to fat loss, and it was, people said, you've got to want to do the work, or you've got to want it. I thought, that's a strange saying, because of course I want it. Of course I want the promotion, or I want to lose the 10 pounds, or whatever it may be. And I thought, no, do you know, you've got to want to do the work. So everyone wants the end goal, but you've got to want to be there day in, day out, whether it be in the office, in the gym, whatever it is. You've got to actually want to go through the process and do the work that's required to get to the end goal.
Mind blown. Love it. We can just end there. Fine. That is incredible, because you are so right. Most people want the end result and don't want to put in the work, and easy is earned.
Yeah.
Like at some point it becomes effortless. It becomes easier, but you have to work to get to that point. And and when I look
if you
back,
want to do it, it's easier.
Yeah, when you want to do it, when it becomes like a priority. Because I always say time management is crap. Like, that's not even real. It's priority management. And then people are like, oh, I don't like it. You're telling me it's not a priority. I'm like, well, is it? It will be a priority if you want it to be.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Guys, I hope you heard that and listened carefully. Right. So I would love if you could share 3 tips for the Lose, Live, Learn viewers. 3 things that the people who want to be and do more in life, like 3 things that they could start implementing that allow them to be and do more, whether it's from fat loss or business or whatever it might be.
Right, 3 things. One of the first things I would say is social media, I think, can get in the way a lot. Don't worry about what you see on social media. And what I say a lot to my clients is, remember, social media is someone's highlight reel. They are showing you the highlights of the good things. They're not, and anyone's, even people that are really honest, you don't see 100% of the picture. No. You see the good bits and even some of the bad bits, but the bad bits that they choose to show you. So don't think that everyone else on social media is winning at life and that they've got it all sorted, because we're all trying to figure it out. So don't let social media put you off and think everyone else is getting on so much better than you are, because it's very rarely the case. Second thing, I think, do what you want to do. A bit like I said when I thought I was going down the path of what I should do. Do what you want. And, you know, because it's what you want to do, it's what you believe in, it's what you think is right, what you find interesting, if you find it interesting, if you find it helpful, other people will too. So do things that you enjoy. Don't post things on social media or do a job or offer a service that you think, I'm not sure about this, but other people will like it. Do what you like. And like you say, being authentic, more people will be invested in it. Because if you find it worthwhile and you find it helpful, there will be others out there that also find it helpful and worthwhile. And third, again, a bit like when I left my job the first time, if it feels wrong, don't do it. Do what feels right. If you're about to take on a new job, a new fitness plan, anything, you're going to move house and you think, this just doesn't feel right, don't do it. There'll be another option, there'll be another job, there'll be another plan. If it doesn't feel right, leave it.
Powerful, because I wonder how many times things that don't feel right. Like,
yeah.
how
and
many times
the first time I left my job, I knew it wasn't right. Yeah.
Powerful. Good. I love those tips. And I think, I like though you've brought that, like, those 3 things are so powerful no matter what your goals are. You know, if you want to be and do more in life, these are things that you should be kind of living by. Like, I agree. If you go to write something on social media, if you're a business owner and you go to write something on social media and it's like, in the flip side of that, often I will write something and I will call like something, not someone particular, but like something out. Like, I'll draw a line in the sand. And when you get that feeling of, I shouldn't say that, I'm like, no, I need to say that then. Like, you can't please everybody. And we are conditioned to people pleasers, but you can't please everyone. And if you're showing up as you and you say something that one person doesn't like, well, that's fine, because there might be 2,000 people that really like it, and that's okay.
Yeah. Exactly. And if you don't like it, if you think, no, this doesn't sit right with me, there'll be other people that agree with you. Yeah. And online, there will always be people that disagree with you, but life.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing. It's just that they are on our phones and on our computers and like there all the time. Yeah. That's the difference, because 20 years ago they weren't there. We didn't know the people didn't like us, and now we can see them and they can see whatever they want to. It's very different. But yeah, it's I love that. And I like how you've brought it back to like the purpose thing and everything else, because I think it's Simon Sinek that says it so well. Like, people buy what you believe, they don't buy what you're selling. Like, it's about what you believe. Yeah. They will buy through that. So if, you know, whatever you believe, put that out there. That's what people want to see. And we're kind of becoming a bit, exactly. we're kind of calling bullshit on like really perfect images and like perfect video and perfect this, that, and the other. Like, we can see through that now. We're conditioned to see through that. So yeah, nothing. It has to be authentic. Even though I don't like you overusing that word, it does have to be authentic. Yeah. I have loved having you on. It's been awesome.
Thank you for having me.
For being here. No problem.
No,
so the guy, everyone's going to want to have more of you. Everyone is going to want to know how they can get hold of you. So could you just share how the Lose Live Learn viewers can get more access to you, where they can find you on social media, where they can follow you and things like that?
Yeah, so on Facebook, it is www.facebook.com/thebadassrules. And then on Instagram, it is my own Instagram. So it is Julie_the_badass_rules.
Perfect. So I will make sure that is on the screen below with my editing magic. And if you go to my website, you will find all the show notes from today's episode, along with Julie's 3 tips on how you can do and be more, and you'll have all the details of how you can find more of her. Thank you so much for being on here. I've loved it. We'll have to do another one. It's been so good.
Yeah, definitely.
Despite the tech issues. We had tech issues, guys. a few times, but it's fine. So thank you so much for being a part of this, and guys, we will see you next week.
So as I'm sure you'll agree, Julie is an absolute badass, and I love the community she has created both in person and online. She is doing this right, and I love the fact that it all happened so organically for her, and it didn't feel like super hard work. It's still hard work. It still means that she has to put in time and energy, because when you are an entrepreneur, especially at the beginning, you don't have a team of people behind you. It is all on you. But I love the fact that it's happened so organically for her. She is able to really dial on exactly who she wants to work with, and she has got clients coming to her all the time wanting more and more and more, which is so great. I loved interviewing her. It was so much fun, so we're definitely going to have to do it again. Thank you for joining me for this week's episode, and I will see you again next week. Love you. Bye.